Oh, look, it's a group of citizens being absolutely irresponsible and dumping trash for everyone since, of course, they don't want to take responsibility for it. What a perfect representation of government and their fiscal irresponsibility as we are facing some major, huge economic concerns that Elon Musk and Rand Paul are raising the alarms about. Some people are saying, well, they're just mad about their own personal issues that are also being affected in the midst of these negotiations and public outcries that are happening right now between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. What's the truth here? What's really going on? We're going to be examining that as there's a lot of conflict of interests with this big, beautiful bill and Elon Musk that I think are worth considering and pondering and when looking at the bigger perspective and picture of what's really going on here, as Elon Musk has been on a tear, especially on social media, tweeting out a whole bunch of stuff about this not so beautiful but very big bill. We're going to get into it in an honest, earnest type of way. If you appreciate that, subscribe, click the notification button, as of course the GOP is trying to ram through a huge, big bill that, according to NBC News, would add $2.4 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years. All of this as members of Congress are showing their nastiest sides here when it comes to the finagling, the wheeling and dealing, and just putting in legislation that, of course, not everyone gets to read. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of last-minute additions that we're going to be like, how in the world did we allow this to happen? Well, we did this because of how corrupted and rotten the whole entire system is. As my personal preference would be, hey, individual items, individual bills, just vote them through. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. This type of like finagling, these types of negotiations are highlighting the worst of government. As Donald Trump is saying, pass this big and beautiful bill, pass all of this. Some things are in there are great. Other things in there are very worrying and concerning, especially when it comes to AI, as of course this bill has also been one of the main vocal points of a rift that has been growing and building between Elon and Donald Trump. Before talking about this rift and how late night television is absolutely loving this, we wanted to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, and that, of course, is Monetary Gold. There's a well-known saying on Wall Street, sell in May and go away. This year, even the big players are echoing that sentiment. Bank of America and UBS are both urging caution, advising investors to sell the rally. Markets are still struggling to regain their footing. We've seen over $11 trillion in wealth erased from U.S. equities, and the broader economic outlook remains uncertain. Historical periods like this have often led to increased central bank intervention, which more often than not means more money printing and a weaker dollar. In uncertain environments, one asset has shown remarkable resilience over thousands of years. Physical gold. TD Securities points out that gold remains underowned by institutional standards, and Goldman Sachs is projecting a possible rise to $4,000 an ounce by 2026. If you're looking for stability in turbulent times, owning physical gold can offer a level of diversification and protection that paper assets simply can't. Here's the next step. Call Monetary Gold at 1-888-443-4164. Ask how you can hold physical gold through a tax-advantaged gold IRA and what incentives they're offering today. Again, that's 1-888-443-4164. Let them know Luke sent you, as we appreciate them working with us and, of course, sponsoring this video. It's always great to work with things that I personally believe in. I personally believe in gold, especially with, the uncertain economic times that we're all in under right now that, of course, I think are only going to be made worse, especially with the tune that we have seen set by Donald J. Trump, who in his first term wasn't the best of a fiscal conservative. Dude was wheeling and dealing checks to the American public, willy-nilly. Oh, yeah, there's a coof thing. We locked you down. Here's a check. Why? No. Stop taxing me, please. Stop taking my money, please. Stop devaluing the purchasing power of the dollar, please. And I think that's an argument that Elon Musk and Thomas Macy and Rand Paul are making. I think some are making it because of a conflict of interest. Some are making it because of a legitimate concern here. And there is a big issue here, as today we are finding out that Tesla stocks actually slumped amongst this kind of Musk-Trump battle that is happening here, as some political forecasters are saying that Elon Musk, through his tweet yesterday, just absolutely destroyed this, quote, big, beautiful bill as the battle continues. Now, a lot of people are saying, don't worry, the Senate will make it better. The Senate's filled with a lot of corrupt people. The Congress is filled with a lot of corrupt people. But now Elon Musk is accusing Donald Trump, after talking about how this big, beautiful bill was just absolutely awful yesterday. He's now accusing Donald Trump of driving America into, quote, debt slavery, as the Daily Mail reports that this war between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is definitely escalating. Now, if you are looking at the financial markers here, I mean, Tesla, Starlink, and SpaceX, you know, when you're cozy with the president, they get good contracts. When you're fighting with the president, they don't get those contracts. And there's already rumblings of contracts being cut. We'll tell you about those specific contracts and a very interesting article to the kind of conflict of interest with this big, beautiful bill that Elon Musk has in just a little bit. But this kind of war of words here is very interesting. As Musk wrote that, quote, the immense level of overspending will drive Americans into debt slavery. He said this at 2 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, as he specifically has been on a tear. I mean, we'll go over some of his tweets, his retweets. I think this one is a very interesting kind of just highlight of what's going on here, as a lot of people are like, yeah, Deutsch really wasn't able to go to that Pentagon. Pentagon stopped him. The Pentagon defense budget, that's a huge chunk. That's like 40, 50% of our budget, not including even the secret black budgets that we have no idea about. And when looking at how much money we're spending, when we're looking at just the huge amounts of money just being printed away at the U.S. Federal Reserve System, when we look at these huge institutions like State Street and BlackRock that are just siphoning all in, when we look at these huge institutions that when they lose money, they just get rewarded through our financial system, as everyone else has to deal with the severe consequences. When we look at this type of scenario and how it's just playing out here, it's not fun, because every time you look at your dollar, if you're just holding a dollar, it's just slowly melting away in your hands. It's just slowly like eviscerating, right? Its purchasing power just keeps going down and down and down and down. And that's why a lot of people are like, hey, you know, look at alternatives there. And that's what I've been saying for quite a long time. If you've been listening to our show, and there's always like hyperbolic people. They're like, oh, you got to do this. Put all your money on this scrap coin. No. Haksua coin. Absolutely. Get it now. All of it. And I'm like, no. Go get all the gold. And I'm like, well, no. Diversify. Okay. And I told people, and if you listen to me, you guys are very well off. You're welcome. I told people, buy some Bitcoin, buy some gold, buy some stocks, try to buy some property. Diversify, have eggs in multiple baskets. And if you listen to me, one of those eggs is really big. But I told you, hey, have a little bit of dollars, but diversify everything else. Have dollars on hand for whatever you need. You would have been so better off if you listened to me. And I've been saying this for like 21 years, because again, I'm not here to be like just pat myself on the back here, but clearly the sensible, rational thing is, hey, dollars just being printed insanely. And if you're just holding dollars, you are going to be screwed. And that's why I told people, diversify into all those things. But the best thing you know what you can invest in? Your social relationships, your ability to be personally responsible and self-reliant. And that's why we told people, hey, go get to know your neighbor. I said that at the Bitcoin conference too. I said, hey, learn how to grow your own food. That advice, more than ever, especially with the AI apocalypse coming, that advice, super key, super important, especially with everything that's kind of unfolding in our society right now and how it will be unfolding. Now, Elon Musk just tweeted this, saying interest payments already consume 25% of all government revenue. Now, Donald Trump talked about we're going to, lower that number. And it looks like we're not going to be lowering that number under his plan. Quote, if the massive deficit spending continues, there will only be money for interest payments and nothing else. No Social Security, no medical, no defense, nothing. And listen, he's right here. The fact that we're spending so much of our money, so much of our tax dollars, paying off these banksters? Are you freaking kidding me? That just printed it out of thin air? Why are we doing this? This makes no sense at all. This whole system's rigged. It's a Ponzi scheme. And I think we all realize, and then I think paying into this Ponzi scheme, paying into the Federal Reserve banking system, just doesn't make any sense at all. Now, Wall Street Silver originally wrote this saying, our annual U.S. budget deficit is going to be over $2 trillion per year going forward. We pay over $100 billion per month in interest on the national debt, $1.2 trillion per year. That is about 25% of all government revenue going to pay interest on the debt. Yeah, that's crazy. We also had Elon Musk retweeting this video of U.S. Senator Rand Paul on Fox Business saying this.
President Trump chided Kentucky Republican Rand Paul today for opposing the bill.
Senator, he says that you don't understand the bill and that you love to vote no.
Well, I would say that's not actually true. I would say that I've been pretty consistent in my time in the Senate at being opposed to deficit spending.
Now, say what you may about Rand. He definitely doesn't have the best political timing. We have the first comment here saying consistent, quote, you blocked Trump's $4 billion border wall, but barely blinked at Biden's $100 billion to Ukraine. Spare us the fiscal sermon. You talk like a watchdog, but then when it comes time to fight, you roll over. Fiscal responsibility means nothing if the country's overrun here, as a lot of people are having some serious words here. And again, Rand Paul didn't endorse Donald Trump. A very weird situation unfolded between them two. Definitely seems like ego and a lot of missed opportunities here, especially since Donald Trump was courting the libertarian base, and Rand Paul was just kind of absent to that. Elon Musk also retweeted Rand Paul, who said, quote, I want to see the tax cuts made permanent, but I also want to see the $5 trillion in new debt removed from the bill. At least 4 of us in the Senate feel this way. Elon Musk also retweeted this video saying this immense level of overspending will drive America into debt slavery. And he, of course, has this video from 60 Minutes.
The U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The U.S. federal government's on an unsustainable fiscal path. And that just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy.
I have the sense this worries you very much.
Over the long run, of course it does. You know, we're borrowing from future generations. It's time for us to get back to putting a priority on fiscal sustainability, and sooner is better than later.
And that's not going to happen. Listen, I also said when Trump was getting elected here that when Trump was running for political office, they're probably going to let him in there, but they're probably going to crash this economy when he's there. Listen, the Federal Reserve is not a friend of Donald Trump. The financial pressures that we're facing are vast, are big. It is extremely unstable. It is a bunch of cards that could come down at any moment, at any time. As Elon Musk also retweeted this, saying, live Elon reaction, quote, I was told that the big, beautiful bill would be beautiful. And I guess that's as he responded to this, saying spot on target emoji. Now, Elon kind of being left out here and having his stapler taken by Donald Trump, I think is a good analogy of what's going on here. Elon also retweeted not the bee with this perfect image saying posting again because it seems even more relevant now. And it's the size of Republicans getting ready to reduce the size of government with the smallest pair of scissors ever. As Mike Johnson came up and says that the House will bring the package to the floor, quote, as quickly as possible, and that Elon Musk is wrong here. Elon Musk also retweeted Brian Armstrong saying, if the electorate doesn't hold Congress accountable to reducing the deficit and start paying down the debt, Bitcoin is going to take over as a reserve currency. I love Bitcoin, But as a strong American, but a strong America is also super important for the world. We need to get our financials under control, as there's some people speculating that Bitcoin is a foreign intervention meant to destroy the U.S. dollar. As Bitcoin is becoming more prominent, especially under Trump's administration, as some people are saying, there could be some kind of big move being made here, a chess move by Donald Trump, trying to, of course, just spend as much as we can because he knows the dollar's going to down. He knows they're going to collapse it. So he's doubling down on crypto and Bitcoin and seeing that as the future here. Now, Axios is reporting, this is their scoop, according to anonymous sources from within the White House, about 4 reasons why Musk is now attacking Donald Trump here. This is what they have to say here, as a Musk spokesperson couldn't be reached. But according to sources within the White House, Elon was, quote, butthurt. That's one of the reasons why they're saying Musk has been criticizing Donald Trump here. Now, this is, again, anonymous source that's, quote, familiar with the matter, according to Axios, saying that the reason why Elon is pissed here is because Donald Trump in this legislation is getting rid of the electric vehicle tax credit that gives the user about $7,000 to $8,000 off for buying an electric vehicle. Elon Musk has spent about $250,000 lobbying on behalf of this credit that originally was created by the Biden administration and cut out Tesla out of it. Now, Elon fought that, and eventually Biden did allow Tesla to have this tax credit, but this big, beautiful bill gets rid of this tax credit, which is going to, of course, severely affect the purchasing power of Teslas and makes them about $7,000 to $8,000 more expensive. And Elon has been allegedly arguing for this tax credit to be left, and Donald Trump's like, no, we're going to cut it. The second reason was that Musk was working, quote, at the White House as what was called a special government employee, and he had discussed trying to stay in that role beyond the 130 days time limit set by the statute for unpaid advisory positions. But ultimately, White House officials said he couldn't keep serving in the capacity. And it definitely does look like he was trying to get into some serious places. And then Kash Patel, Pete Hegseth, and other government officials were like, no, our employees are not going to answer to you. You're not going to ask them to send an email. You're not going to look into any of our finances. And he didn't. And then they eventually were like, okay, Elon, go away. That's what happened here. And it's not good, because I was really hoping that we would get some kind of transparency and accountability here, but we didn't. Third reason was that Musk also wanted the FAA to use his Starlink satellite systems for national air traffic control. And according to the source, the administration said no because of the appearance of a conflict of interest and for technological reasons, because, quote, you can't have air traffic control just run off satellites. The second source said. The final straw for Musk appeared to have come Saturday night when Trump abruptly announced he was withdrawing the nomination of Jared Isaacman, a Musk ally, to the NASA administrator. That also looks like that rift here is becoming bigger and bigger and more inconvenient for Elon, as, of course, sources that I have are predicting kind of very bad next few months for Elon, as him now being kind of pushed out of the White House leaves him isolated. And there's a lot of people that he pissed off that are very powerful, big billionaires out there that probably will be waging more economic war against him. I'm looking at those type of Bill Gateses out there, those Mark Zuckerbergs, and the other evil villain looking one, Jeff Bezos. I think it's fair to say here, moving forward, it's not going to be looking too good for Elon, this rift. And if the Axio anonymous sources are true, are highlighting how Trump's pissed at Elon and he's not giving him what he wants. Now, there was also considerations about the global dome being kind of orchestrated and engineered through Starlink and SpaceX. Will that actually be the case here? Well, I think if there's anyone capable of doing any type of satellite defensive kind of intergalactic, intercontinental, like worldwide type of huge mega project like that, it's going to be Elon. Will he be the one getting the project? That's going to be the question that, of course, a lot of people are going to be asking themselves. He has definitely made himself a public figure, and it definitely does look like he is going to be facing a lot more pushback and opposition as now the two being at odds and battling out in the public sphere. According to a lot of people, it definitely isn't the best of look here. And again, there's people saying, nope, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, who, again, a lot of people have called the swamp monster, saying, nope, Musk is wrong. This mega bill is great. I don't like mega bills. I don't think it's a good mega bill. I actually agree with the criticisms of Elon here. And I think we should definitely take our fiscal responsibility a little bit more seriously than just a bunch of people who just want to dump trash on the side of the road, just like the government wants to dump debt into our children's future. This is the perfect representation of what your politicians are doing right now. They're just dumping trash in the middle of the road because you know what? They can. And that to me is just absolute hooey. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. I'd really deep down appreciate all of you guys subscribing, clicking the notification button. Thank you for Monetary Gold for working with us. We appreciate them, and stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.